Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to discuss data types in Java. So data types specify the size and the type of value that we are storing in any variable. So yeah, we will see practically in this session only in the further video. So let's understand theoretically some of the things. So for storing data we use data types. So what are the data types? What data types we have? So that are all things we will understand now. So we have in the data types, we have two types of data types. One is primitive and next one is non-primitive. So in the primitive, we have normal simple data types that we use regularly in Java. Java inbuilt gives us these primitive data types. So primitive data types we've seen. So what are there? So we have byte, short, int, long, float, double, bool, char. So these and all things we have. In the description we have something, and default value we have some, and size also we have. Byte actually will take 1 byte, and short will take 2 byte, int will take 4 byte, long will take 8 byte, float will take 4 byte, double will take 8 byte, and finally bool will take typically 1 byte it says, and finally 1 byte or bit, because true or false, right? So 0 or 1, it's not byte, it's 1 bit, and character will take 2 bytes. And what are non-primitive data types? Up to now, what we saw, what we are going to use in the day-to-day life, those are primitive. With those primitive data types, we are also going to use non-primitive data types as well. So what are non-primitive data types? So those are characters. So except string, all we created are non-primitive data types, that are arrays, classes, interfaces. So in this we use regularly classes and arrays. These are very important. So this comes under non-primitive data types. So in this flowchart also, as you can see, there are total 8 primitive data types, and non-primitive data types are some. And if you see what are operators, so operators are the special symbols used to perform operation. So addition, subtraction, I hope you know all these things. So these are operators. So we're also going to see practically. So addition, relational, bitwise, increment, decrement, ternary, so assignment, logical, shift, instance operator, urinary operator. So by practicing, you can get to know all these things. You no need to by heart all these things. So I hope you know arithmetic, these and all things. So once you practice, you can get to know easily. So currently now I am in my VS Code. So in my file demo.java. Now, yeah, we will see some of the variables so that we can understand the data types. So first of all, I will create a class. So that is public class, of course. So I will name class it as demo. So inside this class, I will be going to make a main function because that is important. So that name you should keep definitely as main only, otherwise it will be not working. So you should open this brackets as well. Inside this bracket, round brackets, we need to pass arguments. Okay. Now we are going to have. So if you want to print something, you can have like this. So inside you can pass hello world. So this is the fashion, this is the syntax that you need to write. So basically system is a class. If you want to see this class, you can control and right click that. Click control and enter. It will be going to, it will show all the classes and its methods inside that. So inside the system class, you will be getting all these things. So system and dot. So inside this also we have a method called println. So basically what it will do, it will print all the stuff that I am writing here inside the terminal. So if you want to see it's printing something in the terminal. Hello world is printed in the terminal. Now I will be going to close that, and so first of all we are going to discuss what is variables. Suppose in the real world we have only data. So how we can store some data? So suppose you have 2, 3, 4 like that, those are numbers. So how you can store the numbers? So numbers can be represented here as integers. So you can store integer as int. Suppose I will name variable as num, and suppose for example I took 4. Mind you, at the last you will be going to place semicolon, otherwise it will be going to give you error. So I am not using correctly this num, so that is it is showing some warning. So ignore this warning. So this is the fashion that you are going to have any variable. Let us here. Suppose I have another integer called age. That is your age. So I will suppose 16. So that is your wish. You can name those variables as variables. So that's why those are named as variables. Now, so I hope you understood what is meant by variables. Now we are going to understand what are data types. So If you write two slashes, that is known as comment. Comment means literally you can write inside anything that is not part of the code. So if I write, so there is no warning, no error, because it will ignore, Java compiler will ignore these comments. So you can also write multi-line comments. So in this fashion means you can extend this to double lines. So hi. So this is a fashion to write comments. Okay. I hope you understood how to write comments. So I will show there are inside this. This is basic. Okay, primitive data types are basic. So inside this primitive type, we have something called integer. Then we have float. Then we have char, means character. Then we have boolean. So these are all the types we have in the Java. So now I will explain corresponding these. So short will be going to occupy 2 bytes, and finally we have byte. So byte also will be going to occupy 1 byte, 1 byte, because the name itself byte. So these are the things that is going to store the integer. So these are for integer. So float will be going to occupy 4 bytes, and next double, we have double. So double will be going to occupy 8 bytes. So finally we have char. So this is the fashion you need to write character char. Char it will occupy 2 bytes. So now I explain how many bytes, what is primitive types. Primitive data types are the data types that are very basic, like integer, float, character, bool. These are inbuilt provided by the Java. And finally, we in integer integer only subtypes we have: int, long, short, byte. According to our requirement, we are going to use case whatever we want. And so like this, you are going to declare integer. Suppose you want to declare a byte. So byte. So if you want short, so you are going to declare short as like this. So after short, if you want to declare a long, 120, like this, a big number. So int, byte, short, long, all you declared. Next we are going to see, so float f. So these are the warnings you have seen is that we are variables you declared but not using, that is the warning sign. So please ignore these warnings. So float f, so 1 point something, like this. So at last you are going to mention f, because you are implicitly mentioning that it is a float. F means float. So now double. So now double d. So to prevent that, if your use case is very small, like 1.2, 0.6, like it is a small number, so that is why you can represent it as a float. So at last you are going to put f, that is meant by float. So you can reduce the space in that fashion, float. You simply going to have like this. So I hope you know how to run the code. So Java and file name. What is the file name? Demo.java. So this is the fashion how you run. So as you are printing now, it is successfully printing. So suppose if you want to see, so byte you can print like this. So if you run the same command, you can see 9 and 127. That is meant by what? The basic integers and floating point numbers. Now you want to represent characters, just like you want to represent in this fashion. So char c, and so if you so I declared character ch as a case. So like that you can declare the variables. So yeah, I said you can declare char ch as at the rate anything. So at the rate so dollar, modulus, this and all things will become under characters. So now I will be going to show you boolean type data types. Boolean. So boolean b. So this will be storing the data true or false. Suppose I say, so this is the data type that it will be going to store. Okay, so that is small f, not capital F. So if you want to store b false, you can only store two things, that is true or false. If you want to see that, you can simply print like this. So you can see it is printing false. Basically that is a boolean data type that I am printing now. And there is one more thing, one more hack to represent the numbers. So suppose you have integer, so big integer, suppose in say n. So you have big integer like so many zeros. For that you can represent the underscores in between integer, how it will take. So let's see. So at last you are going to put semicolon. So you are going to represent integer like this. If it is showing some error, you can simply declare type it as long, it is better. But don't forget to put semicolon at the end. So you can also represent the integer in this fashion, so that you can see very clearly how many zeros are there in that integer. And if you want to print that, it will show. So if you want to print and see, so the same thing, normal number it will print. So underscores will be ignored. So you can see in the terminal it is printing just normal number, but I am giving underscores in the number because to understand, to read it properly, the code, so that I can see properly. So I declared with underscores. There is no problem to declare with underscores. You can read that. And there is some concepts called typecasting. You need to understand that. So what is typecasting? Suppose typecasting say you have a float, not byte. You have a float. Suppose you have a float 5.6f and you have an integer t. So you want to replace fl. See, it is showing some error because what is this error? You are declaring fl as a float 5.6, but you are reassigning float to t. So t is equals to fl means you are assigning 5.6 to t. But how it is possible? Fl is a 5.6. It is a floating point number. T is integer number, so that you cannot do that. So if you want to do that, so you can explicitly mention with the brackets, in the round brackets before that, you can simply say int. So what is meant by int? This is known as typecasting. Basically you are typecasting of floating point number to integer. Now it will chop off all the things after the point. Now if you print and say, you can understand that. Suppose if you print t, then you can understand what it is printing. See, it is printing 5. It chopped off 0.6 because it is now integer. See, it is now integer, not more any rather than it is float. It's not float, it is converted to integer. And you can say another called type promotion. This is another type. So what is this type promotion? So you have byte. So I have two bytes, that is byte b1 2 and byte b2 3. Now suppose the byte b1 is 2 bytes and byte 2 b2 is also 2 bytes. Now I want an int result. Inside this result I will be going to multiply both of them. If you print that result, so basically what is meant by that, you have 2 byte that you are actually int is 4 byte here. Int is 4 byte and you are multiplying 2 byte into 2 byte, that becomes 4 byte. So there you need not to say that explicitly, to mention here means here int, and here also. So you need not to explicitly mention as int and int, because you need not to typecast here. After multiplying both of them, ultimately you will be going to have int result. So that is the reason we have output in the integer format. So this is known as type promotion. Now we are going to see operators. So operators are nothing but just normal operators that we are using daily. So addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus operation, and yeah, these are many, all operations are there. So I will write basic things, basic stuff over here. So operators. So these are known as arithmetic operators. Next we had the relational operators. So what are the relational operators? We have less than equal to, greater than equal to. These are known as relational operators. So less than equal to. So next one is greater than equal to, and the next one is equal to equal to. So we will see one by one this one. So first of all, understand what are the types of operators. So what are logical operators? We have and. So this is and operator. So you have or operator. You have not operator. So these are the logical operators. So now we will be going to see live. So what are these operators like that? So for the arithmetic operators, suppose you have int. So int add, suppose not a here. Suppose I take n1 as 5 and n2 as 6, suppose. So mind you, you can also declare two integers like this in a single row. It's no problem. But you have to separate both of them using comma. And finally you have to separate whole line with the help of semicolon. So this is the declaration of two integers in the same line. So after that, if suppose for arithmetic operation, suppose you can simply say result is equals to n1. So like that, I will be going to have four things. So the same variable you are reusing, so that's why it's giving error. So you are going to say subtract. So now we will be going to print all the stuff and verify, yeah, it's true or not. So basically you can write all the things and you can print like this. So yeah, simply you can see that 11 minus 130. I hope you understood these normal things. So I will be going to remove all these arithmetic operations. Now I will be going to show you the modulus operation. So modulus operation will give you the reminder. Suppose I want to perform modulus operation between both of them. So you can simply print. So for the simplicity, for the simple reminder, I will be going to take 10. Okay. So I will be going to pass here n2 modulus. So modulus means you are going to pass percentage symbol, and next you are going to pass n1. So like this, you are going to pass modulation operation, and you are going to run this and see 0, because 10 divided by 5, what is the remainder? That is 0. So this is known as modulus operator. It will return you the arithmetic operators. These things we have seen. Now we should see relational operators like suppose same thing same thing we have suppose n1 and 2, and suppose we can print like, see, it is saying true because n2 is what? N2 is 10, n1 is 5. So 10 is greater than 5. So that is the reason it is showing true. In the boolean it will show. Or you can have equal to as well. It shows, it will check them strictly. So then it will be going to say true. So suppose when if I reverse that, so if I reverse that and if I check, if I run and check, see, it is showing false. Why it is showing again I will run and show. So it is showing false. Why it is showing false? Because 5 is less than 10, but we are saying opposite. So these are known as the operators, the relational operators. So if you want to check exactly strict, you can check like this, and whether n1 is equal to n2. If it is yes, it will print true. If it is not, it will print false. How to confirm that? So change here. So simply you can check that it is showing true because n1 is equals to n2. And finally we have logical operators. So suppose at a time we want to check two conditions like n1 and 2. So again I will change it to 5. This one is greater than, and and operations I will use. So basically here I used and operator. This is known as and operator. So this statement and this statement, if both are true, only this will give you true. Otherwise it will be going to give you false. So n2 is what? N2 is 10. Sorry, I will change it as n3 here. So why I took answer two things because. So next condition is also true. So both are true, it will print true. So let's see what happens. So it prints true. It's right, guys. Suppose if I change it as 11, it will be going to show you false. Why? Because that one of the condition, this condition is false, so whole condition will be false. So this is known as AND operator. Suppose in that AND operator, if you place OR operator, any one of the one is true, then whole output will be true. Suppose if you see true because this condition is true, this condition is true, so whole conditions will be true. So now what is meant by, so the first thing we see is primitive data type. In that, the basic data types: integer, float, character, boolean. So integer will take 4 bytes, long will take 8 bytes, short will take 2 bytes, byte will take only 1 byte. So the next one is float, 4 bytes, double 8 bytes, character 2 bytes. So we have declared all this stuff and we have seen it is working or not, and we have seen operators. So arithmetic operators, relational, logical operators, that we have printed all these things and we have checked all these stuff working or not. So these warning signs are giving because we have declared them or not used in the printing case or any other cases. So that's the thing, it is showing some error. So basically up to now what we have seen is the thing, it is very important. Now I will show another types of addition also, it is also very important. So suppose you have n1. Now I am going to perform only operations on n1. So how can you do that? So basically if I want to increment n, suppose 5 is there, I want to add 10 to that. So I can do n1 plus is equals to 10. So basically what it means, so it meant that I will write comment here for you for simple understanding. N1 is equals to n1. So this is the simple meaning. So you can also print that. So if you want to print that, and you can see that n1. So if you see n1, so you can see over here it is printing 15. So what is meant by that? N1 is already 5 and it is again incremented with another 10, 15 it has become. So this is the one way of writing. So you can also in the same fashion you can also use, so n2 minus is equals to 10. So I will write comment here for you. So n2 is equals to n2 minus 10. So basically now n2 becomes 0 because already n2 is 10. We are subtracting with that. So suppose now if I run that, you can see the output is 15 and 0. So output is 15 and 0 because we are using this kind of syntax. Whether you can use this syntax or you can use this syntax, no problem. Both syntax are correct. Pre-increment and post-increment. So pre-increment means we are going to increment first and we are going to assign next. Suppose n1, pre means sorry, first we need to plus n1. That says it is pre-increment. Post increments means after you need to increment, so n1 plus plus. So these are the two fashions that you can increment. So n1 plus plus, also you are going to add 1. So both will add 1. So then what is the use of for that? So now I will show. Suppose you have this syntax. So you have new int new1 and int new2, that is n1 n1 plus plus, that is post increment. So you are post, what you are doing, you are, this is post increment. Post, you are going to assign n1 to 5, means n1 to new1, and next you are going to increment that. So here new1 becomes 6. So next here is you are using pre-increment. So what is meant by pre-increment? First of all, you are incrementing. So you are incrementing and then you are assigning to new 2. So final output here would be, so 7. I will run that and you can see. So the outputs are 5 and 7. Because I am printing new 1 and new 2. I am printing new 1 and new 2. So it is based on pre-increment and post-increment. So if you want to understand more and you try this, you can, this is very simple, try it by yourself so you can understand so in depth. So first print n1 new 1 and 2 new 2, all you can print and you can check so what are the outputs, so that you can understand